Hey everybody, David Nuño, Billy Liucci here for TexAgs Rewind, presented by Yeti. Big weekend because baseball needs to get their act together, and it needs to start now.
Yeah, I'm glad you decided to wear your Ole Miss powder blue jersey
This
today.
is an Oilers Columbia blue. This is from what I believe Warren Moon wore this in 1991.
By the way, I don't even think that's Oilers Columbia blue.
It's close.
That's Ole Miss blue.
I think it's
you will not be wearing that at the game tonight.
No, I won't.
But, yeah, monster series over at Bluebell Park. Aggies need to win the series. So does Ole Miss, though. So it's like two preseason top 5 teams that are combined 1 and 11 in the SEC. It might be like it's not. This is a little bit of hyperbole, but it feels like an elimination weekend for two teams that were in the Final Four last year. It's not, but the Aggies really need to figure out just whatever it takes to win the series, even if they're not playing better baseball yet per se. Maybe Ole Miss isn't either, and one of those two teams is going to win a series. I mean, you can't tie in a 3-game series, so somebody's got to win it. A&M needs to ensure that it's them at home. You know, you've been talking about playing these incredible baseball teams, LSU, Tennessee, and then you caught a red-hot Texas team that came in, and you probably kind of let one get away, I felt like, with the way that game went early. Ole Miss, for whatever, defending national champs, but, I mean, their body of work, they have not been that good so far this season. You need to keep them down while also kind of giving yourself some momentum.
So we had that on the show. We had OB on the show. The Baseball Bunch guys were here. Billy Liucci, obviously. Check it out. It is TexAgs Rewind. We've talked about it on this show many times. I forget who brought it up yesterday on the program. Somebody brought it up. Regardless, Alabama is 2 plays away from being undefeated. Mm-hmm. They're also a couple plays away from being 8-4. Mm-hmm. Right? So you need to be on the right side of that more often than not. And to me, that's where those little things you do start to add up. A little sand in an hourglass. Every time you go to practice, those little things, when the going gets tough, was it Jimbo who said yesterday, about Michael Jordan? It was Jimbo, right?
Yeah.
That said, it changed for everybody else, but it didn't change for Michael at the end of the games. He just did his job. Other people panicked, but Michael just did his job. There was more to Michael than that.
Yeah, man, that sounds so much like what Alabama does to be successful.
Yeah.
Because when you play Alabama, a lot of times it's not what they do, it's what you do to yourself. But they're like a spider sitting back, waiting for you to get
your mistake.
Your mistake, you get in the web, they're on you, you're dead.
Yep. I just look. It's one thing to be an 18 to 22-year-old and think this way. It's another thing for us, like here in our 40s, OB, to think this way. But we have life experiences. I'm hoping that last season was enough of a life experience to change the way these guys work forever.
Or at least for 2023. But yes, hopefully forever.
Forever, right. Let's do this. 3 things we want to see this weekend, OB. I didn't warn you, so I don't know if you have 3 things from the Aggie baseball team, but I'm sure you can come up with a few.
Well, I want to see really good pitching.
Yep.
I want to see strikes. So I guess that goes in with the good pitching.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see them throw strikes. Don't make Ole Miss at least earn it getting on the. I want to see the guys who are supposed to be the meat of your order start producing. Right now, that meat of the order, I hate to be mean, but let's face it, that meat is spam. Give me some T-bone in the meat of that order.
Yeah.
I mean, last year, they didn't have a good pitching staff. Last year, I have it right in front of me, their team ERA was 4.67, and they covered it up with a really good offense. Mm-hmm. The offense has been not good this year, and their ERA is worse, 4.85. So, I mean, I still believe that the offense, if the guys like Targac and Werner and to some extent Bose, because he's down at 242 after hitting 10 home runs and hitting over 300 in each of the last 2 years. If they can pick it up, they could cover up some of those pitching issues, but man, something doesn't get fixed on the mound.
Like I said, we've seen these guys do it before. We've seen Nathan Detmer do it before. We've seen Chris Cortez, Will Johnson do it before. We've seen Targac, Werner, Bose do it before. There's where your belief lies. But we up to this point in the season, the data that we have to make projections on now, 25 games in, almost half the way through the season, is what it is. I don't think it'd be really interesting to see kind of what they do, how they manage the entire weekend. Because to Scott's point, it's only weekend number 3. But to Chris Burke's point, and one of his favorite sayings is, it can get late really early. in this league.
Yes.
Because when you look at the schedule now, compare it to a couple of weeks ago, I mean, there's no coming up for air whenever you get done, whenever you got to go to Auburn and you get Kentucky and Mizzou and like top 25 teams. Like there's where is your, okay, we can get back going on track this weekend. You better, it's not going to come from the opposing dugout.
Right.
Whatever is going to happen in this season, you're not going to get aided from the opposing dugout. It's going to come from your dugout.
But I also think that Ole Miss and Auburn are sitting here at the same position saying the exact same thing about who they have the next 2 weeks. Ole Miss isn't here saying, that what have we seen from the Aggies? Well, the exact same questions are being said. Who they played before they got here puts them in a position where they're 0-6.
So what is happening in around Aggieland?
Oh, there's a lot happening around Aggieland. So Aggie baseball hosts Ole Miss this weekend for their second at-home SEC series of the season.
All right.
The first game is tonight, and the game is set to start at 6 p.m., and you can watch it on SEC Network. Softball also has a series this weekend against Tennessee, number 3 Tennessee.
They're good.
They are good.
So is A&M softball.
Yeah, they're ranked number 21 right now, too. That is going to be an exciting matchup.
Keep it moving up.
Yep. So they defeated Lamar and Incarnate Word this week.
Mm-hmm.
They had 2 midweek games, and they will be back at Davis Diamond tonight. Like I said, playing number 3 Tennessee, and the first pitch is set for 5 p.m.
If I remember correctly, the Incarnate Word victory was like a 6-0, 7-0. It was a blowout, and I feel the Lamar game came down to the final inning.
Yes, the Lamar game was a walk-off single by Trinity Cannon.
Yep, Trinity.
Yep, she's pretty good. Men's golf, the number 14 Aggies competed this week at the Valspar Collegiate in Palm City, Florida. A&M finished tied for 6th for the tournament, shooting 9 under par. That's pretty good, right?
That's very good. And Sam Bennett, by the way, next week.
Yeah.
Where's he going to be?
The Masters.
That's right.
Yeah, he is.
We're going to be tuned in?
My dad and my boyfriend will be tuned in, so I'll probably have to somewhat pay attention.
Yeah. Come on, Sammy. You can do it. He spoke to the media yesterday. It was good to see that.
Yeah. Women's golf, Jenny Park and incoming freshman Cayetana Fernandez Garcia Poggio.
I don't know how to say that.
Both made the cut at the Augusta National Women's Amateur on Thursday. The final round is scheduled for Saturday with Fernandez Garcia Poggio tied for 6th at 2 under par, and Park tied for 14th place at even par.
All right, let's go.
Pretty impressive.
Yep.
Men's tennis, the Maroon and White will host number 19 Florida and Rice at the Mitchell Tennis Center on Saturday. Women's tennis, the Aggies will play 2 matches this weekend at the Mitchell Tennis Center. That's a hard word, apparently. Mitchell.
It's
Apparently
so
that's
hard.
a hard word for me to say.
But what we've seen, David, is nothing. So everyone that's trying to analyze other than like, you're not yours, like our little depth chart there, here's how they started practice, means nothing. Oh, Fathery worked at left. Oh, yeah, like Olin said, Aki worked at every position along the line last year. They're checking out things and seeing things. If we watch practice all day, you'd get a real feel. So, point being, what have I learned? Nothing. And that's what they want you to learn. Now, what have I heard? A lot different.
Okay.
And the one thing I do notice out there, and you and I talked about this yesterday, there seems to be less yelling and screaming and more coaching. I mean, I would say even though Coley seems more intense, but it's coaching, it's coaching, it's coaching, it's teaching, it's urgency under the these tight ends. There's so many of them that have a chance to play. Adazio seems more mellowed, and players might laugh you say that because it's early in practice, but he does. We saw him early in practice last year. We see him early in practice this year. Jimbo is still coaching his butt off, but it's. I just feel like there's a better mood and a better vibe around there between players and coaches, amongst coaches, even out there in terms of like just not having the pressure on 11 to start every practice. But it's not in a bad way. I like the pressure. I like to see the coaches pushing these guys, and I don't mind seeing the yelling and screaming. I really don't. But I've noticed it's less. And I've been watching it, and I know what I've been asking people, and I know the people that I ask would tell me otherwise, and I've heard good things.
Closing it out, I would like for you to like it. Anything else you want them to do?
Like it, subscribe, tell your friends about it. I don't know. Sign up for a TexAgs subscription. If you're not, spring football coverage is rolling along. Recruiting's about to get I think, really exciting. I think Jimbo and company are close to getting some of the guys they really want and building some momentum coming out of spring football.
And I ask you why you haven't subscribed yet.
And I ask you why, TexAgs.com.
Bye, guys.